A celebratory week this week when I pass 5,000 kilometers on the bike. I make it to Prince Edward Island. I learn how to catch and capture some quahogs and venture off to Cape Breton before turning to Newfoundland. I was invited to spend a day off in New Brunswick with my Warm Showers host, who brought me out on his boat. Some curious seals popped their heads up to see what was making all the racket. The real purpose was to find quahogs. It's a hard task, and I easily found crabs. In that same time, my host was finding quahogs. It's a form of Atlantic clam. It also is the same animal which has the record of being one of the longest living organisms. One quahog recently found off of Greenland was over 400 years old. Crabs were very much easier to find, and I enjoyed shaking hands with them. When searching for a quahog, you can look for a couple of different things. You can look for a divot or something that is inconsistent with the rest of the floor, and you can kind of reach down into the sand, and sometimes you find a crab. It was a lot of fun watching them dig and burrow themselves back up. They're not much for me. Underwater, you can also look for something that doesn't quite fit in, similar to this hole right here. About 3 inches underneath, you will reach down and often come up with either a crab or a quahog. The next morning, my host biked with me for the first couple of kilometers. We said goodbye, and I made it off towards Prince Edward Island. Prince Edward Island is steeped in history and heritage. The island is known as the birthplace of Confederation because the capital city, Charlottetown, is where the idea of Canada was born. Early Mi'kmaq settlements date back thousands of years before the historic Charlottetown Conference.
I was packed to lunch today on Prince Edward Island. Cucumber, eggs, apple, blueberry juice sandwiches. It was quite the treat here.
This mailbox scared the crap out of me.
Cool moment here at PEI. I'm watching my odometer with a passion. I'm almost about to break the 5,000 kilometer mark on this trip. Oh, here we go. This is probably not as exciting for you as it is for me, but I'm pretty excited. Should be at the yeah! Ah! I did it! Ah!
Cradled between the waves, the beautiful island was successfully named Abuet, Île Saint-Jean, and Prince Edward Island, which all three are Mi'kmaq, French, and English regimes that have inhabited the island. Originally inhabited by the Mi'kmaq people, the island, as it was often referred to, was first discovered by Europeans under the French voyageur Jacques Cartier when he came to the Maritime provinces in the 1530s. The original French settlers were Acadians and called the island Île Saint-Jean. After a series of wars between the French and the English in Europe as well as North America, Île Saint-Jean was ceded to Great Britain in 1763 by the Treaty of Paris and renamed St. John's Island. The present name of Prince Edward Island was adopted in 1799 to honor the then Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, the father of Queen Victoria and the younger brother of King George IV. Edward was born November 2nd, 1767 in Buckingham Palace in London to King George III, who we know best for losing the 13 American colonies during the American Revolution, and as well as losing a tenuous grip on his sanity in later life. The title of the Duke of York dates all the way back to the 11th century when it was used first by William I in the form of the Earl of Kent. It's been used intermittently ever since. The modern usage begins again at the 20th century when the Duke of Kent was revived for one of the sons of George V and is currently held by Queen Elizabeth's cousin, Prince Edward. Surprisingly, having played such a large role in the formation of Canada in the Conference of 1864, PEI did not join the Federation until 1873 because it considered the original terms of the 1867 Constitution unfavorable. The next day I raced into Cape Breton.
west in Canada you go, the nicer people. So I made it into Cape Breton, which is supposed to be second nicest to the Newfoundlanders. And I got up to a visitor center, which says bicycle friendly, because I've got to adjust my bike. And so I asked somebody inside where I could find a tool, and she called her husband, who's on his way to bring me the tools to adjust the bike.
With a fixed bike, I stopped at the convenience store and I got some wafers. I decided to see how many I could eat without my hands, so placing 3 in my mouth, I got 1 done and was doing quite well. That is until I tried to maneuver them about in my mouth and lost one in a gust of wind. Priorities immediately changed, skidding to a stop, forgetting about the quality of filming. I had my own concerns at the time as cars were passing over, possibly hitting my baby. The tension was palpable. Being clipped in, I couldn't get it quite away, giving one more opportunity for another good solid car, which narrowly missed. Safely racing to the road, I found my wafer still intact. I'm on a high calorie diet, and I need every calorie I can take. Cape Breton was quite beautiful. It was a cross between apparently Nebraska and some highlands, but I loved it all the same. The next morning, I saw what has been daunting me for the last 2 weeks, and that is the hills of Cape Breton. The road follows the coastline for the very start, and then it shoots up on 4 hills, each cresting 350 meters. On the top one is rewarded with beautiful scenery, a mix between a boreal forest and some wonderful coastline.
I'm here on Cape Breton, and over here is where I'm trying to go today, but it's kicked my ass. I've done everything I possibly can. I'm going against the wind and up hills. Today I had to nap for the first time, but I haven't done everything I can. I've got a new idea. Right here, you'll see I've got a couple of lone warriors. They're doing the best that they possibly can. A few days ago, I met a host and was joking about how bikers wax their legs. And I was given a waxing strip. So, to solve all of my problems, I'm going to take care of my lone warriors. I don't know what side to use. Put that there for now. Just stick with this one. Alright. Press it on. Pull it up. Oh! Didn't work. Try this one now. Press it on. Ah! All it's doing is hurting. My warriors are still there. That was a waste. It just hurt. It really hurt. Calling for rain tonight, and that's no good. It's never fun to put away a wet tent. I found a great spot to stay tonight. This is an abandoned campground, and so I put my tent hiding up here, hiding from the trees. Not hiding from the trees, hiding from the rain. It's been a long day.
With all the hills of Cape Breton, I had sweated through a couple portions of my shirt and doing laundry in the sink. I met an old man who gave me some positive encouragement, as well as was able to clean my shirt. Next week, I make it into Newfoundland, an area I've been trying to go for a few years, and get blown away by the beauty. I become an honorary Newfoundlander. I meet a couple other bikers and prepare the bike for the upcoming last leg of the trip.